This is amazing, don't you think? Listening to the birds, looking at the sky, feeling the grass, smelling the nature. It's amazing how our body understands the world, how our body perceives all these things. But how does it work? How does this information is processed? What happens on the inside? What's up everybody and welcome to a new science class. Today we're going to go into another system, and this system is one of the most important as well. This system helps us to understand the world, and well, basically thanks to this system we can do everything. I'm talking about the nervous system. What are the parts? Our nervous system is composed by the brain, the spinal cord, nerves, and neurons. What are the functions of the system? These organs work together, and every time we do an activity, the nerves respond to the stimuli and send information to the spinal cord. After that, the information travels through the spinal cord to the brain, where the information is processed. So how does the brain work? How does the information travel from one part to another? So let's take this for example. So every time I see something, I touch it, the information is here and the brain is gonna be here. So what happens? Something like that. Very quickly, the information is sent to the brain, and after that, the brain sends a response, a reaction, or a reflex. In activity 2, you can see the stimuli in this side. You need to find the way of the stimuli and match it to the brain. So in other words, every time we touch, hear, smell, every time we're using our senses, then all this information comes to our sense organs, and then it travels through the nerves into the spinal cord, and after that the information comes to the brain, and after that is processed. So for example, if I eat this, the information that I receive through the taste travels to the spinal cord, the information comes to the brain, and the brain processes the info and says, it tastes sweet, it tastes delicious, it's an apple. So every part of our body has specialized neurons. For example, in our hand, we have specialized neurons for the touch. When we see, we have specialized neurons for the sight. The same happens with the smell, with the hearing, and with the taste. All of our body has specialized neurons. And then these neurons work together and they send the information to the brain. So this is a neuron. Neurons are one of the smallest elements in our body. The function of the neuron is to send the information. So neurons work together with more neurons, and they send the information one after the other. Every time we see, smell, hear, or taste, our neurons are going to work together. For example, if I see this object, the neurons that are going to send information to another neuron, to another neuron, to another, to another, to another, and they are connected one to the other. They send all this information, neuron after neuron after neuron. They go to the nerves, the information travels to the spinal cord, and this information is received by the brain. And the brain is going to process this information that is coming from here. All this information comes up, the brain receives it, and we understand that this is an apple. The same happens when we taste, when we smell, when we hear something, comes to the spinal cord and comes to the brain. But what happens then? The brain says, okay, there is an apple. No, the brain also gives movement. It gives us actions. Depending on the stimuli that we are receiving, the brain is going to take actions. And there are two types of actions, reflexes and reactions. But what is the difference? Have you ever touched fire before? By accident. What do? You remove your hand, right? Well, this process doesn't need our brain to think. This is what we call reflex. And the neurons that are in your hand, they react to the fire and you do this action immediately. What happened here? The man didn't react. As you see, he only closed his eyes. But did he move? Did he do something? No. Nothing. That is what we call a reflection. And there are many types of reflections. Closing your eyes when something is coming, that is one type of reflection. Now this is what we call reactions. The brain perceives the orange, the information is processed, I know that the orange is coming, and what does my brain do? Makes a movement. This is what we call reactions. In the reflection, I only close my eyes. Before we finish our class, I have a little experiment for you. So we have two functions of our system. The first one is to send the messages to the brain, and the second is to make movements, to control actions from the brain to the other parts of the system. But these actions can also be controlled. For example, when I want to do something, when I really want to look to this part, my brain controls my movement and it helps me to continue speaking to you. So what is the experiment? What are we going to do? In this experiment, you have to tell me the name of the image and not what the words say. For example, in the image we can see a penguin, but the word says spider. You need to tell me penguin and you don't have to say spider. I'm going to show you an image and you will have to say as many animals as you can without making mistakes. And you're going to have only 60 seconds. Then you're going to answer the following questions in your copybook. Alright, don't forget me to tell me your results. And remember, you can do this with your friends or family. Alright, good luck! Hola chicos, bienvenidos al final del video de ciencias. Repasemos un poco lo que vimos hoy. Hoy hablamos sobre el sistema nervioso. El sistema nervioso es uno de los más importantes en el cuerpo, no solo porque nos permite entender el mundo, sino porque también nos da los movimientos y las acciones que nosotros hacemos día a día. Se compone por el cerebro, tronco cerebral, los nervios y las unidades más mínimas, las neuronas. Cada vez que nosotros captamos algo desde el exterior, las neuronas envían una señal a otra neurona a través de los nervios. Estas llegan hasta el tronco cerebral y finalmente al cerebro, que en el que procesa la información. Asimismo, una vez que el cerebro procesa la información, envía una señal de vuelta y vamos a tener un reflejo, reflex, o una reacción, a reaction. La diferencia es que el reflejo es una respuesta inmediata que no necesariamente llega al cerebro, como por ejemplo cuando ponemos la mano en algo caliente, sin pensarlo quitamos la mano. No es un proceso cognitivo. Pero cuando estamos jugando fútbol y vemos que viene el balón, nosotros ¿qué hacemos? Dirigimos nuestros movimientos y le pegamos a la pelota, porque eso ya implica una acción del cerebro, un proceso donde nosotros captamos el estímulo y establecemos una orden, una planificación de movimientos. Esa es la mayor diferencia. Entonces, en resumidas cuentas, las dos funciones del cerebro son las siguientes: captar todos los estímulos, enviar mensajes hacia todo el cerebro y por último, controlar, dar acciones e inhibir acciones, tanto que están ocurriendo dentro de nuestro cuerpo como por fuera. Bueno, y si tienes alguna duda, recuerda que están las asesorías pedagógicas, están los emails de nosotros los profesores y no dudes escribirnos ante cualquier duda que tengas. Nos vemos hasta la próxima, chao.